Today I watched Bernie Sanders say the one thing that I never thought he would in his political career. Absolutely nothing. Hello. I'm not going to say I'm glad to be here today, but I do want to say thank you for being here and taking part in a difficult discussion. Whether you end up agreeing or disagreeing with what I have to say, thank you for being here. It's funny how he begins with,
"Are you ready for a very radical statement?"
but then follows it with,
"I support the First Amendment of the United States Constitution,"
which is not the same thing as saying he supports the protests that are going on right now. He chooses his words very carefully there. Even the title of the video itself is a question, not a statement. But if he won't say it, then I will. Pro-Gaza university students going onto mutually pro-Gaza university campuses, breaking university property, occupying university buildings, and wasting university resources is at best irresponsible and unhelpful. And will do absolutely fucking nothing to stop the Israelis from going into Rafah. In fact, if I'm being entirely honest here, all the violence that has been wrought in the United States over the course of the last few weeks actually kind of reminds me a lot of January 6th. A frustrated demographic whom the American police have historically treated with kid gloves, adopting the moral high ground and breaking shit because they don't expect there to be any actual consequences. That's why university students stick to breaking university property, even though those same universities are the biggest pro-Gaza institutions in the United States, and you would think would be a pretty big asset you'd want to protect. Look, if Americans, especially young Americans, want to go out and protest the capitalist system that is oppressing them, I'm all for that. If they want to protest their universities for signing 18-year-old kids into hundreds of thousands of dollars of student debt, I would march with you for that. But don't appropriate the struggles of brown people in the Middle East to justify your discontent. And what's really hilarious about all of this, and how anti-the right these protests have been, blatantly, despite pretending to care about Gaza, blatantly it's just an anti-the right protest. And despite that, it's a really bad one, because the right is pretty much just watching them happen and laughing, mostly. I mean, it's leftist university students destroying leftist institutions. All the right has to do to win the situation is just watch. And the fact that universities are now calling in the police, who are a generally right-leaning institution in the United States, and especially in college towns where a lot of the locals don't necessarily have great opinions on college students who are mostly rich kids from out of town, it's a shift in the mindset of the universities that is not in the left's favor. It's a situation where the left just blatantly is shooting itself in the foot, just openly. Before I get into anything else, I just want to stop and remind us all of what's actually important here at the end of the day. I want to remind us all that the sides do not matter. Let the IDF and Hamas tear each other to fucking pieces for all I care. But every innocent civilian in this conflict zone needs to be protected. Get your attention on that. What are we doing to save people? It's not about teams. It's not about identity politics. It's about saving Palestinian lives. And the lack of perspective on that has been frustrating. I know that it seems fruitless and corny for me to sit here and go out and vote, talk to your senator. I know. And American democracy is flawed. I know. Trust me, I know. But the system that we have, flawed though it is, not maybe, though it is miles ahead of what a lot of countries have. It is something that people living in other countries would kill for. Something the people of Gaza would kill for. And the fact that so many of these protesters don't appreciate that is sickening. You have the ability to just pick up your phone and text your senator and your congressperson, and the office of your governor. You can just do that. You have that in your fucking lap, and you would rather throw it away in favor of a less effective solution? You would rather throw it away in favor of destroying an institution that is already upholding the beliefs you have? And what makes it worse is that these protesters are stirring up violence that's only going to hurt Muslim Americans in the long term. That is the part that truly makes me livid, because the fallout of this will not be felt by the suburban white kids who then leave their universities in a couple of years to go on to some tech job where they gather around the water cooler to talk about, hey, remember that time when we took a stand? The fallout of this, the memory of what is happening right now will not be on their heads, it'll be on the heads of women in hijabs. The memory of this violence will be lived with by Muslims in America. 10 years from now, Muslim women and brown kids will be the ones living with the memory of the violence that is being wrought today. They will be the ones attempting to live with this. Not the white kids who appropriated their struggles so they could cosplay as dissidents in some third world autocracy. You live in America. Act like it. That is why I'm so livid to see a man I genuinely look up to, or did, pull his punches. Because the fallout of the actions of his party is not going to be felt by him or a lot of his voters. It's going to be by Muslim Americans. I'm disappointed, Bernie. I guess that's it. That's all I have. Thank you again for being here. Again, even if you disagree with me, thank you for being here. Thank you for taking part in the conversation. It's so important that we engage with this and know that we are all looking for solutions to save Palestinian lives. That is what matters. It's about saving people. It's not about identity. It's not about who's on what side. So thank you for taking part. Genuinely. And that's, as I said, all I have. So I will see you guys in the next one.